person. I don't need 5 million people to see the video. I need one person to come in and then buy it. And it happened. And ever since then, I've been a very big advocate of the social media and the videos because it works. I mean, it doesn't work on every property, but you know what? If it does, that's amazing. And it's a marketing tool and a technique that I don't think many people can achieve on a very high level. And I'm very proud to do it here at Serhant and work with Serhant Studios to do it.
Well, my passion is real estate. We were talking about that a little before we logged on. Like, where is, I mean, I could talk real estate all day in New York. I know the buildings, like, it's just, we all have our hobbies, right? Not that I'm suggesting your job is a hobby because it's one of the most difficult jobs in the world, trust me. But where is the state of the market now? Like, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Is there any deals to be had in New York? I always assume there isn't.
Well, let's talk about the rental market first. The rental market in general is at all-time highs with very low occupancy. Uh, I think it's very challenging for people to be mobile in the city. Usually, they will be a renter and then they'll turn into a buyer. But right now, because rates are still high, right? And renters, if they move, they're going to pay a 15% bump from whatever they were paying before. So there's a lot of people staying put, which means that there's not too much inventory out there. So then moving to the sales side, we represent a lot of new developments, projects in Manhattan, in Brooklyn. And the principal buyers that I'm seeing are all cash buyers from uh, people who are getting help from their family. So let's just say Jenny has, a decent amount of money saved up and she could go get a loan, but instead she goes to her dad who gives her the other kind of chunk. So overall, that's what I'm personally seeing is like help from parents. And that's how people are actually entering the market. The one thing about Manhattan specifically is it's a blue chip asset, meaning you buy it, you're probably not going to lose money over the long. It might go down in a little bit, but like any other asset, it might go up, might go. But if you look at the when in doubt, zoom out, right? The trajectory is always up. Why is that so? Because Manhattan's an island. There's a fixed supply, sort of like Bitcoin, for example, where there's a fixed supply of that asset. Overall, I would say now is probably one of the best times for buyers to get into the market, simply because we have a lot of people who are on the sidelines hesitating. Those renters who should be buyers are not buying. Those buyers who want to buy but the rates are too high are not buying. So both sides are kind of stuck a little bit. And I think if you are looking to buy, uh, once they start lowering the rates big time, prices are going to shoot up. So I think right now, in my opinion, is going to be one of the better times to buy versus sell. If you could hold on to sell for another 6 months, I'd probably suggest that. But right now in Manhattan specifically, I'd say it's a buyer's market.
We don't need to get political, but you do a lot of real estate in Florida as well. Like what are you? Because I know a lot of brokers. You hear things like, "How's your office? Is it true?" All this panic, Mandami, and the phones are ringing off the hook from brokers in Florida, and everyone's fleeing the city. I mean, I have my own opinions, but I'm just curious as to what you're seeing.
Understood. Yeah, I'm happy to answer that question. So there's a lot of news, and I believe it's a lot of clickbait news. I've been getting emails from agents in Arizona, Connecticut, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and every one of these emails says, "Oh my God, New Yorkers are leaving. Please look at my $600,000 house in Nebraska. All of your New Yorkers should move here." Uh, I like laugh at those emails because no. Number one, New York is back, baby. We've been through 9/11. We've been through the great financial crisis, the recession. We've been through COVID. Everybody's tried to write us off. And I would say now New York City is more powerful than it was back in the heyday in 2016, 2017. So do I think that a mayor who's offering everything for free is going to change much? Well, first, we have to look at the logistics of like, is what he's saying actually going to happen? Well, a lot of what he's saying is actually state mandated, not New York City specific. So I do think he's going to face a lot of uphill battles. Number one, do I agree with all of his political agendas? Not necessarily, but I do believe that the people have spoken. And I'm a New Yorker, so I support the mayor, whether it's, Adams or Munda, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to support the mayor. And the same thing goes with, America. I'm an American. I don't care if Biden's the president or Trump is president. I'm going to support the president because I'm an American and I'm invested in my own country, right? So
Yeah.
same thing here. I think a lot of it has been clickbait, to be honest. I haven't seen I was prepared. I was like, oh man, this is going to get crazy. The good thing is I have a business in Florida. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready. I could pivot. I could bring them to Florida. Uh, Kind of crickets. It was not what I was expecting. In fact, more people are trying to move here, which is a little wild. It's a little wild if you ask me, and I'm not too concerned about it like everyone is. So I would avoid just reading articles and just saying random things. And you know, everybody loves to just go one way or another, and that's the whole culture nowadays. But just use your eyes and look around. What I do care about is safety, and I think that's something that is very important. I have a lot of women that work on my team. I'm very concerned about their safety when they're walking around. How many earphones do you have in? Only have one in max, like that kind of stuff. It's just we're in a large metropolitan city, so I think that's really important. And I do hope that the safety and the integrity of the safety of the city does stay. That's something that I'm hoping for. But overall, I don't see a big difference now. That might change when he gets elected, but overall, New York is back, baby.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
What about, you had lots of, co-stars on the show, you said, and we get to know them. The second season, there's some newbies. If you wanted to buy or sell a home, you can't use yourself. You can't use Genesis because she's on the Nile Lundgren team. You can't use Ryan. So you have lots of other people here to choose from. You have Jordan H. and Jordan Marsh and Jess M. and Jess Taylor and Chloe. And who else is there? I mean, you can't use Jade because she's commercial, but out of the people, Trisha, who would you go to?
I mean, I've never been asked that question, David, and I think it's a great question. Uh, that's a really good question. Who would I go to?
I know you want to use Genesis because she's on your team, but she's not an option.
Right. She's not an option. Neither is Ryan. I think if I was going to use somebody, it would be on the female side. It would be Jessica Taylor, just because she's no nonsense. She's straight to the point. And who doesn't love a British accent? Okay.
Yes.
My grandmother is from London, so I grew up with a British accent when I was a kid. So I find it quite endearing. On the male side, I would say Jordan March. I think Jordan has been in the business almost as long as I have. I think we started in about 2007, about the same time. And I just think that he's very creative in the way that he markets and brands, specifically new developments. So I think he's just a very seasoned and savvy agent that has trained thousands of agents in the business. So, I really give him a big, hats off or tip of the hat because, he's done a lot of really impressive things, including, growing. I don't know if you know, but he was involved in LG Fairmont and he bought all the Street Easy Zillow leads right at the beginning. So, in one year, he did like 7 or 800 million dollars at that company, which was like totally mind blowing. But I would probably use him on the male side.
I would have predicted you would have said one of those two just from watching the show on the first season. I can see it. Well, listen, you didn't get the penthouse at Jardine. That went to Chloe. Like, what do you think of Chloe as an agent?
Chloe's great.
You have your hands over your face. Listen, I can be a little bit shady here too.
Chloe's great. Okay, you want me to tell you the truth?
Yes. We like the truth here.
Okay.
I used to practice law back in my
Oh, you
former life,
did?
in my former lifetime. So,
Wow.
we
I
like to
would
get
not
them.
guess that of you.
No one would get that. I'm actually a broker too because I'm a lawyer. But I mean, I just love real estate in general, but I have my broker's license just because, lawyers get to pass go on that one.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
So yes, being a
Let's
lawyer,
talk
we
about
like to get,
Chloe.
yes, let's talk about Chloe.
So I think season one, Chloe looks crazy. Okay. And she's also saying some wild things. Like, she said Niall is Mr. Clean, schlubby little brother, or whatever.